Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M37. The M37, otherwise known as the 105mm howitzer motor carriage. It's basically the tier 3? I think it is tier 3 American SPG. It's located, it's actually tier 4, sorry. It's located on the north spawn of Mountain Pass, and this one is under the command of 73north of WTWW. Well, basically, it was a derivation of the M7 Priest. Yes, it's actually built on the chassis of a Chaffee, the M24. It's been lengthened a little, and it's got the same 105mm howitzer that you find on the Sherman, funnily enough, the M4 howitzer. Now, it's capable of doing 410 alpha and 27mm of pen with a 1.91 meter burst radius, and it's got a fairly good fire rate. It's not huge. 14.38 is the standard reload, and you can see here that 73north's got it down to 13.47. So basically, think of it as the smaller brother of the M7 Priest. Of course, the M7 Priest is the tier 3 American SPG. Well, we've got a large number of enemy tanks here. We've landed in a tier 5 game with tier 4 tanks in it. So a lot of these guys have got fairly thin armor. That should make for an interesting explosion when we fire one against them. Goes for the Stug, gets a nice solid hit for 141. He pulls back into cover because he doesn't want another one of them. Now, they were actually started design work on the M37 back during the Second World War, during 1943. It was actually built during 1950 to 1953, and they did see service in Korea, but never saw service during the Second World War. They were still under development at the time. Well, basically, it's the same concept. It's a howitzer mounted at the front of a hull, which derived from a previous tank. The best thing about the M37 was the hull was considerably lighter, and that made it actually quite advantageous because, of course, it maneuvered better than the M7 Priest did. Rounds out. Good accurate shot there. And Zadimika went down. Yep, he's gone. So it was actually quite a good vehicle, and they found it very useful. They built 316 of them in total. Not a huge amount, but they didn't need them after the Korean War, of course, and they had enough of the M7 Priests as well as the M37s to keep going. Oh, direct hit on the Stug, even though it wasn't the Stug, it was somebody else, but it was a direct hit nonetheless, and that Stug's now proceeding across the bridge. But he knows as well, the closer he gets to us, the more likely we can't hit him directly or indirectly. So we've now switched target to a Panzer IV F2, and he's down at the other end of the ice road, whilst the enemy's getting closer and closer to us. Oh, what an accurate shot! Smacked the turret and blew it to pieces. And here's the enemy convoy who suddenly turned up now. We're going to get a shotgun on one of these guys. We're going to have to go over the edge. Don't fall over the edge. But when he fires shotgun into a Stug, the same Stug he hit before, and the Stug couldn't reply because we're quite elevated here. It makes it difficult. He'd have to pull back just to get his gun raised enough to hit us. And you can see the Stug is now exchanging fire with the T-28 down below, and he's keeping those guys lit, which tells us where they are. Unfortunately, we just lost the T-28. So we might have to leave this area. He's also aimed on. Oh, there's the other Stug. Don't try and go down. Yeah, he tried to kill us. Just couldn't get a shot. But he's now fired, which means we can blow him up. Yeah, big mistake there. And now we're going to try and do the same again, even though we're still in reload. This shows tremendous courage because he's going round there, Arty, to take out the enemy tank, the M8A1. Where are you? Hello, Mr. M8A1. Well, you might have the 57mm gun, but we've got a 105mm. Unfortunately, we're not very good at traversing. He's auto-aimed on. And there you go. One 105mm round delivered up your rear and takes you out of the game. Okay, so he's dealt with 2 intruders, and we've got an M10 RBFM coming back, but meanwhile an enemy has turned up in our cap area. It's a P2640, and he doesn't realise we're here, so we're diving in. Oh, first round didn't work, but he now knows we're here. But the M10's coming, and as soon as we're loaded, we'll put a round into you. Oh, he goes down. M10 claims the kill. You can see how versatile this little thing is, and it was in real life. Yes, in fact, there are some still around, and I believe the last time I saw, there was an M37 on sale in perfect condition, which actually I think was bought up by an American museum. It was originally on sale in Spain, because yes, they've been distributed around the world, but it was absolutely perfect. Now, unfortunately, there are 7 enemies still out there, and we're outnumbered, and yeah, there's only 4 of us left, but 73north's not going to let that get him down, because he's going to have a go at that Panzer T25 if he can. Now, it might be a good idea to get off the ledge and go around the other side of that wreck. But he wants the height, actually. I think, yeah, that T67 is what's keeping him up here. But he can leave now because the T67's just gone wiped out. So there's only 2 of them now. And the Panzer VF2 is over in the corner. We're looking from the opposite direction to see who's coming. Well, we've got one come. It's a Marder, Acton DCT, and I think he's going to turn and try and shotgun that if he can. The Panzer T25's a one-shot. He should be able to take that out with 1 round. Hello! Oh! He didn't auto-aim on! Big mistake! Oh, that was a huge mistake. The enemy Arty, which is an SU-5, is now starting to pump rounds into our Panzer IV, and now that the Panzer T25 knows we're here, he's aiming his turret in our direction. Oh yes, our guy over there in the corner is taking a lot of punishment, and he can't move out of there. Okay, every time we move forward, we're moving the vehicle, and that blows the reticule. And of course, we're fully spotted, so enemy Arty could be delivering a round to us very shortly. He needs to hold on to this round now because the Panzer T25 has just gone down, and there's the Chinu. Now, good shot. We're all alone now against 4 enemy tanks. We've just killed the 5th one, so he could get a Colaban off if he can win this one. Ooh, that's the 152mm mortar of an SU-5. And they are capping again. Now, we don't know who's capping, but we can guess that it might be the Marder Acton DCT. He looks like he's going to try and do the same thing as he did again to the M8A1. Or is he? Well, we got 2 in the cap this time, so it's going to be more difficult for him to take them on. And now we found an MT34 1941, but he can wipe this guy out because he's AFK. That's 1. Ideally, armor piercing would be good, but unfortunately you only get HE at this level, this tier. Still 2 in the cap, so the enemy's not coming down. And I don't think we're going to be able to kill this guy in time. But we are picking up more hit points by doing it. We can't afford to ram him because basically we're an Arty based on a light tank. But 1 person has left the cap, so they are coming to kill us, or at least they're going to try. I'd hold on to that shell because I think there's a enemy tank about to appear around the corner. He's put himself behind the wreck, and okay, now he needs to hold on to that shell because I think somebody's about to come around that corner. He's having a quick look in aim view, and no, for some reason that enemy tank never came. Oh, he did. Bit too late though to do much. And he goes down as well. And that's a Top Gun. Well, 73 North survived that battle, got himself a Top Gun, and only had 4 hit points left at the end of the game. But I'm afraid it was a defeat because the enemy, Marder Acton ICT, did cap out to win the game. So he managed to get an ace tanker out of that. In fact, it was the first ace tanker he's had in the M37. Also a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6. He got a Starks medal. He took at least 2 hits from the enemy, killed at least 2 enemy tanks, lost potentially 2/3 of his hit points. In fact, he lost a lot more than that. And he also survived the battle. And on top of that, he got the Top Gun for dealing them or getting at least 6 kills in the game. His win rate was 17,686, which is super income and a lot more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, look at this, 1,792. It wasn't the highest damage in the game. That went to the SU-5, who was pumping out the rounds. He got a Gauze medal, high caliber, and a Confederate. Look at that. And his win rate was 6,148. Not as high as 73 North, but obviously he was a good player because he was generating the damage consistently throughout. And yes, he got that high caliber, 2,178 hit points. Second highest damage went to 73 North with 1,792. And the third highest damage was the Chinu Kai, which he killed, got 1,267. When it came to kills, he got the highest with 6. 3 kills went to the Panzer IV F-Spy on his own team and also the Chinu Kai on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it was the Chinu Kai who did the best. 827 to him, 734 to the SU-5, and finally we've got 73 North with 555 in third place. He fired 22 rounds in that game. 14 direct hits on the enemy, none of them penetrated though, surprisingly. 16 splashes as well. 1,792 hit points, of which 682 were at more than 300 meters. I say surprisingly because basically he shot an M8A1 up the rear, and that should have gone right through that tank because it's a 105mm round. There's no doubting the armor on the rear of a Scott is very thin indeed. And so, yes, he should have scored a penetrating shot off that one, but he didn't. He received 4 hits from the enemy during that game. All 4 were penetrating shots, I'm afraid, as well. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 128 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he made 63,995 credits on a premium account, and that included a 40,000 mission completion bonus, as well as the Courageous Resistance Award for getting a medal in a losing or drawn game. It was a loss. He also got 2,652 experience points after that one as well. But it was interesting because you can see now that some of the lower tier Arty are actually quite fun to play. And this is a shame because most of Wargaming have actually, well, they've allowed players to get an Arty, a tier 5 Arty, which means that most of them will never experience the M37 unless they go back through the collector's tab and buy them and then play them. But of course, they've got no experience of it and they'll probably leave it alone. Same with the M7 Priest and the SU-5 and all the other sub-tier 5 Arties, because they're just never going to get played unless the person really likes Arty and then obviously goes out to get them and try them out for themselves. But the M37 is an interesting Arty because it did exist. It was good. They did use it. And it was effective, but it's a 105mm, and of course Arty's tended to go upwards in caliber after the Korean War, and they started having more 155mm rounds instead, because of course they were much more effective. Light Arty, like a 105mm, still exist and they're still effective, but they tend to be either a gun that's carried about by helicopters, because of course they're light enough to be carried by a helicopter, or they are on a makeshift mount, which means that they can actually be moved about quite freely, or on the back of a car or something like that, or attached to the back of a car. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.